Right, getting into the action on Mirage, a map that may prove critical to B8's chances of turning this one into a competitive series. On the inside, of course, 9 immediately goes CT, and immediately Raid Boss E and Goofy with a set of Julies apiece, which might see some action over towards this B site.
Yeah, very likely, considering all 5 players are stacked in this direction. 2 of them hanging back as they put the smokes down, but struggle for the initial kill, but the second comes easy, as does the third. KEiiiii finishes off Captain Kurtka, so he doesn't have to put any more down, at least not yet. It's all on the owner now, and well, with a couple of headshots to his name so far, he's putting up a small bit of a fight, but it's going to be tough to do anymore as mynio puts the final bullet in towards him and ends it in favor of 9. A very convincing pistol round. As we said, KEiiiii, slight trouble with the first kill, but he made up for it big time.
Yeah, initially a little bit scrappy, but when your second, your third look that good, I don't think anyone is going to be particularly fussed about it. Relatively smooth saving.
A few seconds of warm-up. I thought that was pretty quick adjustment from being rusty to crisp as hell, man. If anything, that's impressive.
Yeah. We'll give him the credit where credit's due. The second and the third, very, very nice shots, and sets his team up beautifully here. No bomb plant for B8, so of course immediately down onto the full eco. Handful of SMGs picked up by 9 to try and farm some cash, but it's KEiiiii who's taking all of the contact and does need to be a little bit cautious with it. Starts to call in the reinforcements, and there's Goofy with his MP9 in tow, looking to farm himself up a lovely bit of cash. Owner, though, again, couple of kills off that P250. One of the M4s is going to go down as well. mynio not in a position to recover, so that's not a bad result from B8 at all.
No, not terrible. They'll be coming straight onto the rifles now as well, so they have a chance to try and capitalize on the bit of damage that owner has been able to connect over the past couple of rounds. Looks like they might even be expecting perhaps some aggression. It's not really a bonus round though from 9. They've got pretty much M4s across the board, just one MP9 then on mynio. So while they are looking to challenge a bit on mid, other than that, the setup looks fairly standard indeed. The are taking their time before they will likely move in towards this mid control, so we'll probably see a clash in this direction. I like KEiiiii's position, actually pushed up mid, watching towards under now. They have a strong setup, one that should at least be somewhat expected here by B8, considering they've given up all this control.
Nice flash over the top. KEiiiiii in a perfect position to capitalize and does manage to grab a double. Trades start to come through. Captain Kurtka trying to keep his team in this one, but the damage done is just too much. And at this point, it's all on owner. Again, does very well to adjust down to the first, but with a minute still on the clock, top mid control lost, and very shortly the bomb lost with it. This is going to turn into a nightmare scenario for owner. KEiiiiii wants the fight as well. Hades does leave his head just a little exposed for a second there, but not able to take advantage as 9 get their clean 3-0. 3 for players going down, not ideal for the CT economy, but they get past the round, and again, really restricting B8 in terms of bomb plants, playing very proactively, as you see here, into the top mid angles. It means that that T-side economy just doesn't get a chance to get going, so even this half buy is going to look very lackluster.
Yeah, I mean, it really just has Deagles, mostly a scout. No one's really come alive yet on that BA side either, which is a little bit worrying. As we had said coming into the Vito, we were expecting the Ancient pick. It looked like the clear choice for BA to go, and instead they brought out Mirage, which personally I thought was probably going to end up as a decider, if not nuke. Didn't expect it to be the pick, as KEiiiiii just shuts them down on mid. A collat on the initial one, it was only pistols and scouts, so not too much to deal with, but still impressive, and to ensure that they're not going to take any damage this time around as well. It's always nice to just deal with these pistols cleanly, and that's exactly how it's going to go. KEiiiiii with another kill. Wrinkles now left alone, and if you can get 1 or 2 kills, that'd be nice, but really 9 don't even have to give him the opportunity, and KEiiiiii pops his head up. That doesn't matter. So fast on the trigger. 4-0, a solid start here from 9, and as we said, for BA here, Mirage is pretty much a must-win.
Yeah, it was a nice idea, that top mid peak, and you could see the principle, right? Get 3 people coming in at slightly different angles, then he can only hit 1 of you, and there's 2 people available to trade. It makes a lot of sense, except for when 2 of you line up and he gets 2 of you with 1 bullet. Little unfortunate. You could see the idea in principle for B8, but just not quite there on the execution. Worth mentioning perhaps that 9 have already played a game today, so looking nice and warm for B8. This is their first, and well, with this rifle buy, they look very keen on trying to pile some pressure onto the A site. KEiiiii relatively untested. Same can be said of mynio as well, has only really played an MP9 inside of the site, hasn't had to do too much more than that. So I like the idea, have to see where the execute starts to pan out, because there's already 3 players in fast rotation positions for the CT side of 9. They've trusted KEiiiii over towards B solo, and that's the right call. It's going to give them a lot of presence as this A hit looks to come out. Smoke goes down just to buy a little more time for the CT side.
Yeah,
there's the first.
Yeah, I was going to say strong positions. You have KEiiiii ahead of the smokes. You have a lot of players already here with utility to support him. And, well, with an initial 2 kills already going the way of 9, B8 are just getting held up around Tetris and Ramp. This is not working out for them. One trade finally back, but look at the amount of damage that they've taken just trying to get out onto this bomb site. They've still got to fight their way forward, and they are doing so. Owner has shown what he's capable of over these initial rounds. Just needs his teammates to step up and help him out, and unfortunately that hasn't been happening as much as he needs. Wrinkle, though, gives them some hope. They have the control towards the CT spawn as well.
Flash is available. Timing is everything, though, and KEiiiii catches him, nade in hand. Wrinkle now left to try and clutch up. Bomb not even planted for him. Should just be a question of timing for 9 now. If they can get out onto that site, they've got kits available. Shouldn't be too much problem now for KEiiiii just to stick this one down. A 5 seconds shouldn't be any kind of a problem. Wrinkle knows he's got to get a shift on, and it's just not going to happen. 5th on the board. KEiiiii will skip his way back into CT, recover the AWP. And that's another really well-managed round from 9. Good read to only have 1 over towards B, and as you said, have that much presence in the A site, playing ahead of the smokes. I mean, Owner's done just about everything he can in every round. He's found 1 or 2 entry kills at the bare minimum, but nobody's joining him on the T side at the moment. It's just making it all too easy for 9 to pick the pieces apart.
No, I mean, we're getting slight glimpses. I mean, Wrinkle got a little bit done there. Captain Kirk has had his moments as well, but really it's only been Owner who's shown what they're capable of so far. And well, obviously this is not the start they would have been hoping for. 5-0 with a pretty firm economy beginning to build on that CT side, and already an advantage off the op of KEiiiii. Very quick on the mid control though, BA wanting to at least find some sort of a response. Fortunately not able to hunt that kill up connector, and 9 don't really need to give them these fights either. They have the 5-on-4, they have tons of time, they have utility, everything they want on the CT side. They can sit back and just let BA feel the pressure, really.
Really nice from KEiiiii just to rotate his angle. Wasn't expected.
KEiiiii has great control in B apps.
They've got great control everywhere. KEiiiii picks off the connector play from Amster, and I mean, this should be traded 1-for-1 or not. Nice shot, Wrinkle. Starting to make something of this one as Kalash has found another onto KEiiiii. And suddenly this B site somewhat under siege. 2 angles at once, too many for KEiiiii. This is more like it from B8. They've broken open the B site. KEiiiii is going to try and play proactively with this AWP. He's straight out the window, but he's been heard. He's been spotted and dealt with by Captain KEiiiii. mynio, he's been on this flank for a long old while now. He's got 1. Teammate is a little isolated. Wrinkle dinked up in the opening engagement out towards short. Does just leave. Kalash inside of the site itself. mynio trying to bait every kind of a sound cue he can. He's managed to draw 1 out. And now it is into that 1v1. Wrinkle on 2 HP. A little bit of smoke span. Very nearly finds its connection. mynio now to try and stick it down, but he's got no kit. He needs the full 10 seconds. The kit is out on short. The spray through the smoke not connecting. B8 think they've got it, and little do they know they haven't. mynio inside of the smoke finds a full 10-second stick to hold on to the flawless CT side for 9. And oh, BA, they are going to be kicking themselves there. They thought they got it done.
Yeah, I mean, from our point of view, you think it's almost got to be a certainty as well. You're like, okay, he had his 1 chance when he spammed in towards short. Somehow none of those bullets hit. So he goes for the Hail Mary 10-second defuse. And you're like, surely he has the angle here. He's spamming it perfectly. Should be able to take him off it. But no, even after the reload, he just kind of gives up on it. Presumed that at that point he must have been backing away to save his weapon. And that was not the case, of course. So 9 steal away another round. They head up 6-0. And in the 1 round where B8 looked like they had some hope, unfortunately it slips out of their fingers in the last couple of seconds, and it didn't go as planned.
If you're looking for positives, they are starting to look warm here. Starting to look a little bit better, finding some good entry kills across the board, but again, they are getting picked in these opening moments. Very proactive from 9 as KEiiiii swings wide. mynio could be in trouble here. Owner's been very good on these entries. consistently finding ways to crack open the site, and for now he's a little bit isolated. He swings right into the awaiting crosshair. Free kill, an equalizer, and you can see the CT side again, desperately proactive with it, but it leaves them in a little bit of a vulnerable spot here. KEiiiii and KEiiiii doing what they can. They've bought the 2-on-2 and a huge amount of damage onto Kalash, but they've lost visibility of it. And this is where it starts to get a little sketchy for the CT side. They have no idea what's going on anymore. They can't afford to just stay passive. They've got to play for info. KEiiii's worked his way already in towards the CT spawn and will start to try and clear his way out onto this A site, get some kind of an idea if that's where the hit's headed, and it leaves KEiiiii, a very isolated figure, up on short. He's holding for the A site cross. I'm not sure if they'll see him first as they start to work up connector here. This headshot angle's beautiful. Owner catches a gorgeous timing. It leaves KEiiiii 22 HP, 1v2. They'll head up short and completely isolate him from this fight. He's got no idea till that smoke goes down, if he even hears it. 8 seconds left. They will have time to get this bomb down inside of the B site, and I think that might just be the round here. I'm not sure KEiiiii has necessarily got the health to even give this one a go.
No, I don't think he wants to. Especially with an AK in his possession, he can't buy. Only really KEiiiii and Hades can. Even with this saved weapon, you're still going to have 1 or 2 weaker weapons most likely in towards this force buy, which they will go for. Goofy will be on a double eco, so it's likely that they'll just pull out whatever they can. But a fantastic recovery and good work from Owner yet again. We've said he stood out. He was fantastic with the entries and is willing to take some risks, as you can see, creeping out A and such. So he looks definitely to be one of the players we'll have to keep our eyes on. It's 1 round on the board for B8. They do need to ensure that they can chain a couple together now. 1 more, they break the economy of 9. They likely head up towards 3. Even coming back onto the gun round then from 9, it probably won't be perfect, and they'll have a chance at that point to establish a real T side. And to do so pretty early on, considering how it was looking as well. Decent time for a pause. Is it a tactical? That's the question. I think we might be on a technical.
Looks techie. I'll go have a look. No, it might actually be a tactical from 9 here. Might be. I can't tell you for sure. Good time for it though, as you said. It's a real breaking point for 9. If this one goes south, they're back on the eco, and B8 really get the door open for them, right?
I was spoiled during the Katowice qualifier because it would specify whether it was a tactical or a technical. So, well, it would specify, it would show if it was a tactical, if it was a technical. It just pop up match paused. So that's what confused me for a moment. You give me? Yeah,
I get you. We're slumming it down here.
And
it
also,
works.
it's the mindset, you know, you've got to expect when a pause comes in an online CS game that something's gone wrong.
Have to see if it continues to go wrong here for 9, or if they can recover the situation. Heavy mid presence called by B8 very swiftly into it. Huge amount of utility goes down, and KEiiiii again just not quite able to rein in that opening fight. Goofy though, through the smoke, finds one and dinks up the second. Again, a huge amount of damage done in these opening seconds. Question is, can 9 continue to convert on it? Wrinkle caught on the ladder cross. No, oh, he's almost expecting the close angle, and all of that damage done in mid lets him get away with it. The double take connects. And at this point, 2-on-4, Hades beautifully positioned. Should at the very least be a 1-for-1 on this angle. At that point, the rotation should come through relatively cleanly. Here we go. Hades missed shot. And that is going to be punished. The B site open for the taking as Amster drops on down. Bomb is on Kalash's back, though, on that AWP. So he's going to have to delay this cross a little while longer. Wants to pick into short, but it's cost him his teammate's life. Everyone low, but up against the AWP, that's a very little concern. And as Kalash misses his shot, both AWPers being punished for missed opportunities, but it's 9 again coming out on top, a 7th on the board. The buy will keep on coming for B8, but they need to start needing to get rounds on the board sooner rather than later, right? We're getting to that point where the economy is less and less of an issue, and that round count slowly spiraling out of control really is.
Yeah, I mean, the speed that Amster peaked Hades at there in fairness, it looked incredibly quick. You could see the panic, and he over-flicked a little bit then as well, but thankfully his teammates were able to handle it well. 7-1. 9 managed to fire back. It's BA who can still scrape together a buy, but if they lose this one, their economy won't quite be there. So it's now or never if they want to start establishing a T side. Flash over mid. I don't think they're going to actively look to fight this too aggressively, though. Yeah, the player on short's still pretty far back as well. Making it costly, trying to do a bit of nade damage and ensuring that B8 themselves use what little utility they likely have to try and fight back.
Have managed to gain that mid control though, the T side, and now they're working short and connector. Amster looking to press the issue. 9, you can see them getting just a little bit fidgety here, and it's going to mean they lose a player early. Wrinkle in towards the ladder, able to deal with Goofy. That B site now feels incredibly vulnerable. The rotate position's almost completely locked out. It really becomes a two-man show here with KEiiiii and Hades to try and lock it down. This is a tough angle for KEiiiii though, and Wrinkle is so ready for it. Hades doing what he can, has got one, but he doesn't know there's players past his crosshair already. He's got to be so cautious here. As the bomb works its way out onto site, spots out a second, but can't quite connect his shot as the bomb goes down, and Hades is trying to brawl this one out, but it's far too aggressive, caught for free. And at this point for KEiiiii and mynio should just be about the exits. Owner may well strip them of one of the rifles early, won't quite find his mark, and as KEiiiii works his way back through the apps, he's just thinking about taking a couple more away from this T side, making it that little bit more expensive right at the death, maybe keeping a couple of them inside of the site, but it's not to be. Second round on the board for B8, and it's an economic heartbreaker for 9.
Yeah, even more so than the previous time where they could at least fund a few rifles behind the saved AK. This time, while they probably will be looking at the force buy again anyway because of a double eco, they're going to have pistols. Barely any utility behind it. Yeah, it's not great at all. Goofy and KEiiiii have bare minimum money. mynio can drop one rifle if he wants to sacrifice nades, which I think might be the play here just for the extra bit of firepower. As you said though, Hades just a bit too aggressive. They're out on B. It maybe could have been worthwhile saving that extra weaponry forward if possible. Just to keep the pressure on BE, to not allow them to easily chain together the couple of rounds that they're looking for, because again, they have that opportunity here where if they take this third round now for themselves, a fort is coming free off the back of it, and at that point then going forward, one more gun round could nearly put them neck and neck with 9. So it's an opportunity, a path to recovery here that looks pretty clear.
Certainly see the pathing. Hades trying to do what he can on that rifle. But an early 1-for-1 is far less than ideal. And, well, with the smokes up, mynio's the only other player near that rifle, so not really going to be recoverable at all. 5-7 and a deagle. The lone bastions inside of this B site to try and do what they can. KEiiiii spotted early, takes a huge amount of damage. Will start screaming for the rotates. mynio's done a good tick as well, but Wrinkle again has worked his way out. Goofy up on Ninja, somehow turns for the second, and on 5 HP, he's managed to find the bomb deep inside of the beast bomb site. First player guilty of not checking the angle, second guilty of not reining in the spray. And with Owner down on 12 HP, suddenly this looks very, very winnable for the CT side. Amster's going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting here. mynio seemingly looking the wrong way, has no idea where he's got to, so the first kill will come relatively cheap. However, the trade is instant, and KEiiiii, whilst he will be found in response, there's now 2 rifles on the ground, there's now 25 seconds on the clock, the bomb is in no man's land. All the CTs need to do is establish themselves a crossfire, and that's exactly what they're looking for here. The occasional shoulder peek to play for info, nothing more than that, and Goofy, well, he continues his stellar round 10, a triple, 2 of them off the pistol. 9 get an absolute steal of a round.
Yeah, I mean, he said it was B8's chance, but once again, they let us slip away. I'm still just kind of confused by the fact that we didn't see them go for that ancient pick. It felt like it could have been an almost certain map win for them.
That's still on your mind, is it?
It is, yes, it's more on my mind when we see how poorly Mirage is going. I mean, they've got something here. They're just... We're only getting brief moments. Owners had his points where he's come alive. Captain Kurtke as well. Wrinkles had a few good entries and such, but they don't seem... Their ideas don't seem to be coming together too well. Even when they get the map control and when they set themselves up for these executes and such, it feels like there's some hesitancy most of the time in the pushes. And And the fact that now they're left on just Deagles and a Galil doesn't really help. It's only a half buy, they haven't fully invested in fairness, so the hope is do something here, maybe have a chance at winning the round, but the focus is on trying to recover towards likely a 9-6 scoreline, which is going to be tough, but I mean, who knows?
Decent amount of firepower into this one. A hero rifle, as you said, always capable of finding something. This time, though, stripped out early. At the very least recoverable, and a good amount of damage found onto KEiiiii, so potentially a conversion available there. He's playing in a very sketchy position. In and around connector is always tough. Leaves you vulnerable. So many opportunities to spam through those walls and just tickle away the last few remaining points of health on these damaged players. It's KEiiiii just spotting out another one. I mean, this one from B8, they look like they want to try and split out in towards this A site, but again, it's a nice read from the CT side of 9. They've worked the short player up into ladder, and now with mynio spotting out the con play, 3 players very well established inside of this A site, ready and willing. So they'll actually start to double back, try and get a flash out, try and give owner some kind of an angle to work with. Wrinkle can't quite punish Goofy's over-aggression, and at this point, just stripping back the remaining pistols. Beautifully clean from 9. 9 on the board for them. A flawless round, all 5 rifles kept up, exactly what the doctor ordered, and a huge opportunity to continue accelerating on their opponent's map pick.
Up towards 9, I mean, at the very least, they've established a solid enough CT side here that they won't really be disappointed. I mean, obviously, losing the remaining 4 rounds wouldn't be where you want to go, but even if they just managed to take 1 more, they'd be in a really, really good position. So, pretty well established. B8, on the other hand, far from it. They need to start winning out now. They have the AKs, as we said, coming into this round. They hoped for damage in the previous. It didn't happen. They just need to go all in here and now. And what the hell? Owner just charges up connector, bypasses KEiiiii. And I think it should be known, indeed, he actually calls in Goofy to help him out. He knew he couldn't emerge from that smoke once again until he had some assistance. As the A-push comes in now, in the meantime, they have mynio pinned in at triple. He's somehow staying alive for a few seconds. I thought he was about to die for sure, got spammed down, now mollied, I believe, but he's still on that bomb site, just making sure they can't push forward and then allowing, as you can see, his teammates to rotate in. And again, it is just a blender. There was the flank from Goofy that would have been there to put an end to it as well. 10-2, double digits already for 9. B8 are just not having a good time here on Mirage. Again, a reminder, this is their map chase.
I mean, mynio, just by staying alive there, has won that round almost single-handedly, right? As soon as he goes down, they know there's no one else inside of the A site. They charge in, they take after plants, and suddenly it gets dangerous. But with him still alive and kicking, you've got to be so conscious of the site player. And you could see it, they're clearing angles, but then they're exposed to the site player. He swings out for 1. The timings, again, are good for 9. He buys time for that backstab to come into position. Really solid stuff. And another half buy to contend with. Handful of Deagles, tech, scout in the hands of owner to try and find some impact. But 11 likely to come through for 9, and they really have just been accelerating. The CT side, couple of minor speed bumps in the road, but nothing to be concerned with as Hades spots out the initial play. Goofy gets a freebie over towards the B apartments as well. And KEiiiii, well, he's well placed. He's ready for this. Good damage done onto Amster. Now he knows there's a rat and he starts to molly them out. KEiiiii wants to join in on the fun, gets himself a kill, and the 2 remaining players, well, they are going to be peeked out by a very enthusiastic KEiiiii, who now knows exactly where to look. Captain KEiiiii does very well to even get the 1, but it's a level on the board, 4 left alive. The economy is going to go pretty much till the death of this first half now for 9, no matter what happens in these remaining 2 rounds. And for B8, well, they desperately need both of them to make something of this first half.
Yeah, this is their last opportunity, really. Obviously, with the loss bonus, they'll still be able to scrape together their rifles and such in the next, but 4 is kind of a bare minimum. These final 2 need to be taken, otherwise they're going to be down dramatically here going into the second half of Mirage with a very difficult map ahead of them in Vertigo. How strong it is for 9. Okay, aggression in true Palace here, rather, has worked out for 9 pretty well. It's a 1-for-1 trade with a kill elsewhere, I believe, been found. No, sorry, it was in Palace itself that initial frag also came in. And I mean,
I feel like they'll take it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not a terrible position. The only thing is they don't know exactly what's being established in terms of A control. As we can see, there's also a player push deep ramp, so they're kind of forced towards one side of the map. I think mid control might be the response, perhaps, to at least give the option to maybe split towards connector or up short. Just keep the CTs on their toes. But now they're actually going to go back and try and take this fight. Okay.
Want a retake. I mean, it's brave. They're expecting the Palace player. Problem is, there is actually someone inside of the ramp, and mynio, well, he gets a gift. As they're starting to work out how they want to clear Palace, they swing waywardly into the ramp. mynio gets a freebie. Smoke goes down. Molotov before it just buys more and more time for 9. B8, at the very least, will try and group this one up. They've got a little bit of utility here. Couple of smokes, couple of flashbangs. They've got the execute if they want it. Instead, looks like it's just the contact play out of that ramp. KEiiiii on the jump spot, gets the information. mynio's position, though, surely not going to be expected as these flashbangs start to come out. Trying to enable that rifle to swing on whatever timing he feels like. He'll just bide it. 15 seconds on the clock. He'll wait. He knows Hades has got his cross. Gets one. That smoke out in no man's land. Falls very awkwardly. And mynio, despite a rough old spray, just does his best to stay alive. And again, that's all he needs to do. 12 on the board for 9. The clock, the ultimate enemy of B8. As again, just a couple of well-timed plays from 9. Pretty much single-handedly win them the round, right? That initial Palace aggression into the ramp push. And from there, B8 just ran out of options.
Yeah, they're just looking outmatched in pretty much every regard right now, unfortunately. High quality production today with the highlights.
Spoiled for choice.
Shout out to producer. Oh, he making the short jump. Doesn't have an op, actually. It's just doing it with the rifle. And a run boost is about to come in. So thankfully he's in this position. Otherwise Hades might have been in trouble. But not actually going for the boost. Never mind. It was just a peek towards connector. And it actually just left him very exposed for KEiiiii, who had an entire shoulder to see. Took quite a bit of damage, sure. But it's an initial kill and some damage on towards Captain KEiiiii. Again, just put B8 on the back foot as they have always been throughout this map. Yeah. Hades, his aim is incredibly flicky right now. But it's working for him somehow. It's like me after I drink too many energy drinks. I've done that once. And I was shaking
if
like a
it lands,
they were giving out free monster. What was I meant to do?
If it lands, you do not care.
You gotta get it the knife. Rub it in.
I mean, 12-2. He's going to go for it. Of course he is. Give it a crack. And there it is. 13-2. Dominance from 9 as we head into the halftime break. Lovely stuff. Well, B8 have not left themselves any breathing room here, to say the very least. 13-2 down as they head over to the CT side, and a pistol that pretty much has to be converted if they're going to have any chance of taking their map pick. The call is aggression in mid to start things off, and for now at least it will be unmet by the T side. There's a couple of players working their way through the underpass, but this is going to introduce a lot of timings all over the shop, Dane. A couple of very sketchy ones. Oh, the underpass peak from KEiiiii's tough.
Wrinkle, oh, somehow gets flicked on by Goofy. Okay, I'm not quite sure how 9 have managed to make that work. It looked like BA had the upper hand in the mid exchange. Instead, now they've lost the mid control. They've lost A pretty much, but they have a flank coming in. The question is, do 9 have any idea? If they shut down this flank, they might even try and bring it over through connector, but instead the timing is horrible for KEiiiii. Left mynio exposed on the bomb plant. It's Owner again, who is the absolute hero for B8 to give them hope in this round. And suddenly Goofy's left all alone. He was dinked up earlier on as well, so he's on 18 health against 2. Without the bomb in his control, this should be a pistol round for B8 to give them a lifeline, an opportunity to start growing back into this game, if not to win out Mirage, to at least warm up before a very difficult Vertigo ahead of them.
Might get a timing for at least one here. It's going to be out of Palace. Captain KEiiiii spots him out though, and on 2 HP now, Goofy in a world of pain. Amster will find the conversion. A little bit of fortune for B8. The flank works out to perfection. They get their third, and as you said, at the very least, a little confidence builder. This is such a nice double up from Owner, making absolutely sure. Denies the bomb plant as well, which always makes these second round buys that little bit uglier, as you see. Rather than a handful of Galils and a couple of Mac 10s, it's a couple of Mac 10s with pistols behind.
Yeah, and I mean, if you get a few kills, you'd have some AKs mixed in there as well, so it can be very scary when you give that bomb plant away. So just about clinching the stoppage there in time. And also, as I had said, I think it was a bit awkward for KEiiiii, who had been watching the ramp just turn at that moment to check maybe if there was anyone pushing CT, I believe. And nade damage, KEiiiii through under actually finds Wrinkle getting aggressive. I had not noticed that. Owner also pushed up towards the top of mid, is at least good for one trade, and they pretty much have trapped them over towards the B side of the map already at this point. They've 2 in on B, 1 pushed towards top mid. Obviously can't see if they do start to bring it around through the T-spawn, so they have to leave a player around there for now, but they have a kind of an early notification system here, especially if 9 try to go for any mid control.
9 burnt all of their util there as well. I think they wanted to commit to it, and then were almost called back by the fact they got that early kill in the underpass, but with the aggression of Owner top mid, the trade comes through, and now without any util to work with, that rifle is going to have an absolute field day. 2 quick kills, and this round has been gutted. From a 4-on-4 to just KEiiiii and KEiiiii remaining. A FAMAS is not the weapon to have. Kalash takes full advantage, gets both those kills done. Only the 1 kill found by the force buy of 9, and that is much, much better from B8.
Yeah, I like the idea. I mean, it's not like they had no ideas on the T side either. They clearly knew how to play it out. They were good at getting the map control and everything. They were set up for trades most of the time as well. They were just outmatched. That's what it was. Everyone on 9 was playing pretty fantastic. And on the other hand, it looks like BA at the moment individually were a bit flat. But hopefully at this point they're beginning to warm up. It's Owner again, though, who does the brunt of the heavy lifting in that previous round. So I'm waiting to see how it goes once the actual guns come out for 9. For now, though, they have a chance against some Glocks maybe to add up the stats that aren't looking quite as strong. Get a little bit of confidence flowing through the veins of the players who haven't been showing themselves quite as much. Nice shot by Captain KEiiiii. He's looked pretty solid in fairness. Owner's going to join in with a little bit more as well, and the dynamic duo continues.
Lovely little confidence builder this, and
what's a higher rank, Owner or Captain?
Ends up going against. Oh, shut up.
I'm saying, who outranks who here?
I mean, based on damage alone, I think Owner wins it. This one's done. 3 players dead in the ramp, 1 dead under mid. It's one of those rounds.
Bomb. Went back for it.
It's a bit brave, isn't it? To hope that you can turn that bomb into something in this situation. Should just be job done here. Rifles start swinging in, and indeed it is. 13-5. A little bit of confidence for B8, but still a long, long way home. And that's going to be the concern now. 13-5. The rifles start to come out again for 9. They've got 1, maybe 2 more rifle buys before this starts to get a little fidgety, and they really do start to get concerned. If they can shut this one down early, the confidence going into Vertigo should be the perfect springboard to get it done in a clean 2-0, which is what 9 will be aiming for. Definitely the favourites coming into this one as KEiiiii wants the pick on the cross. Nobody going to go that way, unfortunately for him, as instead Owner, again, determined to take that fight into top mid. Charging up, Hamster in support, able to kill off mynio as he looks to try and swing on the initial angle. KEiiiii does well to at least trade it down. And actually goes out mid off the back of it. Very brave to swing. Gets away with it, nobody really watching. So mid control re-established. It's a nice win for the T-side as now they can start thinking about maybe lurking out of that ramp, which is exactly what KEiiiii's looking to do. Spotted by the jump peak. Rotations will start to be called in, but this isn't necessarily the hit just yet for 9. Bomb still back in spawn, still probing mid and the B bomb site simultaneously. They are not committed to this just yet.
No, and they actually have a player creeping up into the B apartments right now who nearly got Hamster. He's already on incredibly low health. They've pushed out towards jungle on the A bomb site here as well, just really putting the pressure on everywhere they can. Wrinkle at least good for that trade without even taking any damage. So 3-on-3 that could still kind of go either way here, considering what BA had coming into the round especially.
This could get very sketchy, that connector player. Wrinkle, if he turns well, if he can clear out Goofy, this would be good. But instead he's caught, trying to make sure he's not flanked out of mid. And now with Kalash smoked off, with Amster dinked up and dealt with, it goes from bad to worse. It's a FAMAS against the world. There's rifles on the floor, but he doesn't want to give the sound cue away of picking one of those up. Instead, he's going to try and time it, try and fade this smoke. Gets the first. Position now known. He can switch to the better rifle, and he's got a Molotov as well. Potentially lock out this ramp peak, and then it gets very dangerous for 9. They've not got the smoke to extinguish, but the time is their friend. The bomb already halfway ticked. Kalash, no information about where this T-side are. There goes the Molotov. Bomb tapped. KEiiiii's baited into the open, but he lands his shot at the first attempt. 9, as soon as the rifles come out, return to their winning ways on Mirage. And this is starting to get very last chance saloon for B8.
I'm not going to lie, I was believing in Kalash there, as you were saying, once we knew he had that molly in play. Unfortunately, it was a bit too much to handle. It was a strange push, though. 9 managed to get all the way over towards jungle and towards stairs, take that control, and they still had a player holding back in ramp. They had no idea if they had the bomb site itself. And that almost could have cost them because it was given so much time for BA to react and rotate, but thankfully that one little lurk they had in the apartments earlier had kept the player in position for a long time over towards B. This round, though, was a must-win for BA. They've spent everything to just invest back into this. If they lose it, they have very little to try and fight for an overtime. They'd be looking likely at a 16-5 defeat here. So 9, they know what's on at stake as well. They can pretty much put the final nail in the coffin. They've slowed things down a little bit here. They've focused over towards that mid-control, I think, expecting some aggression. BA playing things pretty standard, though. They don't want to take any risks, I think, at the moment.
Almost forced to play that way as well without the utility, right? They need the nades to back it up if you're going to play proactively into mid this time. Struggling to buy what they want, so forced to play it a little more calmly. Leaves the pressure on as Owner does catch the initial con play. mynio, good for the trade onto jungle. Looking to open things up in towards this A site as Goofy again lurking it out in mid, spotting out the bodies. He's got bomb on his back though, and he's going to be found. Hamster gets his man, and mynio, knowing that the situation is risky, has to dive back in, does very well to trade it. Jungle now the next issue, and they know it on B8. They know that bomb has got to make the transition back towards this A site, so they're going to stack it with everything they've got, try and desperately fight this bomb cross. But as mynio deals with one, it is all on Wrinkle. Picks his first man out of the air, 25 seconds. One flashbang to get them back into this angle, and it's beautifully used by KEiiiii. Dropped right into the crosshairs of Wrinkle to enable that bomb to go down. As KEiiiii now on the high ground will get picked off one-on-one. KEiiiii tucked in. Wants to play this cross. Knows Wrinkle's got a hell of a shot to land if he wants to have a chance at this one, but he tucks himself in. Plays the time, plays the numbers game. Wrinkle is watching for this swing. He's watching for this timing. It's almost given to him, but KEiiiii through the box will convert. 15 on the board. The economy in tatters for the CT side, and this one feels like it might be ending very, very soon.
Yeah, it is looking that way, as I had mentioned. Going into that previous round, it was really their last chance. They have slightly over 2,000 on everyone here, I believe, so there'll be a scout and some deagles again. We've seen some similar buys in the past where were able to do some damage back on that T side, I believe it was, such as the round where they went for the triple pit around, peak around mid, but they got shut down. This time a few more nades at least, and they're on the CT side, but yeah, there's not a lot of hope, I wouldn't say, in it. Run boost doesn't work. Thankfully, they'd already put down smoke, so it doesn't really make a difference. I think they were just doing that for the fun of it now.
Just getting the practice in.
Yeah, they need it, clearly.
Always good. Yeah, always good to get the reps in, especially when you're fluffing them up. At this point, though, as you said, I mean, this is not the buy you want to be protecting your map pick with. 15-5 down, 9. Just looking to put the afterburners on here and make sure it's as smooth as possible. First pick is already found. Scrambled rotations coming in from the CT side as well. Kalash and Amster desperate to try and get as much firepower concentrated towards one position as possible just to give themselves the best possible chance of success. But mynio has slipped the net as well. He's worked his way into the ladder room. Captain KEiiiii's timing not there for him. Kalash, well, he breaks the vent, but he's traded at the very least by Captain KEiiiiii. At this point, though, they're losing men far too quickly. The trades need to be oh so more efficient. Amster tries to play the edge of the smoke. Goofy's Mac 10 is good for the charge, and Captain KEiiiiii, you know where he is on that recovered AK-47. He knows he's being flanked out as well. He's forced to play ahead of it. Does manage to get one, but it's not going to be enough. 16-5 as the backstab comes in, and for 9, they demolish B8 on their map pick and Mirage. Make them regret ever going in that direction.
Yeah, I still think Ancient was the way to go, but clearly that wasn't the choice of B8. They probably, yeah, I think as you were saying, they kind of